Happy birthday, Super Desperation Radio. 2 years.
Yeah. We did it.
We made it.
How did we make it?
I think it was a mix of providing excellent content and not selling out to the man.
Also, performance-enhancing drugs.
Performance-enhancing drugs, apparently.
Called pizza.
And beer.
Dumb luck.
Also a little bit of that, too, considering the beer probably could have ruined everything.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I think the best part that kept us alive was the fact that we actually stuck to it and continued doing what we were doing, despite like any other venues where how we were initially King of Fighters centered, and now we're just kind of whatever we want, with definitely more of the counterculture of fighting game community, I suppose, or whatever.
Oh man, we're iconoclastic?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet.
Did you look that word up? Is that your word of the day count?
Okay, there's a long story about how I know that word, but I can't tell it tonight. It involves me and a math tutor.
Okay, so
you know what? I don't want to hear that story.
Okay, so anyway, check it out. Big thanks to SNK Playmore for giving us some codes to give out tonight, because apparently it's our second anniversary, and I mean, I guess they knew, right, Chris?
Yeah, I guess they did know.
They listened to us.
They are on top of things.
Exactly. So we have 3 Metal Slug beta codes to give out tonight, and we're not 100% sure how to give them out, but we'll figure out a way. Just make sure you're listening tonight. Spread the word on the Twitters, on the Facebooks, on the Instagrams, and other social medias are.
You
on your
will
live
have to
camps. Boom.
If you want the codes, you do have to
Snapchat.
listen to today's episode. You do have to listen in on today's episode.
It
to
is
find
today.
out how we're
We're gonna give them out live, and last time we gave out codes, we just threw them up on Twitter. We're gonna try to make it a bit better this time. Kelly, you gave out some codes for Steam before. You gave it out to your Twitch viewers, right?
For what?
Steam codes. I remember you giving them out before.
Oh yeah, I give out like Steam codes and like LOL skin codes a lot.
Okay, so we're gonna do it Kelly's way. I remember she did it through Twitch.
Yeah, there's an add-on to Chrome that lets you do like a Twitch viewer sweepstakes. So whoever's like currently watching it picks out a name and gives it to you.
Son of a.
Start the show.
Well, this is going to be a problem since
I don't have the add-on.
Chris will crash the show trying to install this edition.
I will do it. Goddamn.
Well,
I think Gibby should do it. He has a newer
Gibby's
computer.
going to crash his own call.
Oh man! So while Gibby sets it up for you fine people, we're gonna jump right into a couple of things here, because quite a lot of things to talk about today. Tournaments, actual game news, sponsor news.
Yeah.
The news is I'm still sponsored by Arcade Shock, the best sponsor in the world. So
nice.
Yeah.
I have a tin from them.
That's right.
Cookies are very good.
They hook you up. They take care of you.
I got a bad top with no converter or whatever piece, so I can't use it.
That's your fault.
It's not my fault.
But
I got a T-shirt from them.
Yo, the cookies are way better than that
that's
T-shirt.
Sony's
Oh my
fault.
god, I think about those cookies a lot.
Yeah, those cookies are pretty good.
Those cookies were pretty good, especially like
Yeah,
even
I
though
can't
they were
even
like a
argue
month
with
old
this
by the
cookie.
time
I
I got
only
them.
had one of those cookies, but
Oh, I told the person whose cookies they actually were that I had one of those cookies. I was sneaking cookies when they weren't looking. That's how good those cookies were.
Damn.
I was like high level deception with those cookies.
Just
high
the
level.
the
what?
really
I don't
clever
think
phrasing.
anything you do is high level deception.
Yeah.
No, you
Just
gotta go
stuffing
for
your
the
hand
clever
into
phrasing.
cookie tin and just eating handfuls out.
No, I was like okay, so like he's eaten a bunch of these cookies, but he hasn't eaten like some of these other cookies. So I ate the ones that he hadn't eaten and made it look like he had eaten like equal amounts of all the cookies, and then said I hadn't eaten any, and he must have just like eaten one of each. And then
I've
I
only had one.
Then he was like, "Oh, you can have some if you want." And I was like, "Ha, don't mind if I do."
This
That's how
reminds
good
me of
those
an
cookies
NCR
were.
story.
I was willing to do shady business for those cookies. Anyway, shout outs to Arcade Shock.
I was about to say, wow. Show's getting off on the right foot here.
Exactly. But you guys had like a tournament at like 3 tournaments this weekend. One of them that I actually tried to stick around for, that geriatric warfare stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tournament was
Old
sick.
people.
Old people games.
So how'd it go?
Went great. As far as, I mean, the numbers were pretty good for everything. CVS2 got 34, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, it was over 30. I think that was the highest entrance.
Yeah, it was. I think the lowest actually was ST with 16-ish. I know Marvel 2 got like 23, and Alpha 2 I think got in that area as well, like 24 to 26. And then Third Strike the night before, Rusty Perry got, I want to say it was 20-something?
Actually, no, it was over 30 because it was
Yeah.
definitely the biggest that they've had.
Oh, okay, well there you go.
So 24 entries for ST, and 29 entries for Alpha 2, and 34 entries for CVS2 and Marvel 29.
Oh, okay, so I was
Or
off.
30.
That's
Yeah.
Solid.
That
Yeah,
place must
so-
have packed.
Solid numbers all around. And a lot of people didn't believe what they saw, but like there's this old guy. Someone broke his walker. They took the tennis balls from his walker, and he got pissed off, so he decided to beat the hell out of everyone in every game except Marvel.
See, why do you take people? You can't take the tennis ball from them because then you just have the walkers that scratch the floor. Like,
Exactly.
It's just
That's-
rude.
Yeah, that's rude and disrespectful.
Is
I
that
mean,
what
my-
those tennis balls are for?
Yeah, what do you think they were for? For sportiness?
I don't know.
Maybe.
So, this guy, some of you guys may or may not know him. One, Mike Watson, I think his name is.
I thought you were going to go for the anonymity and call him Mike W for a second.
No, I couldn't do that because then they think it's Mike Wakefield, and we can't do that. We can't have that.
Who is Mike Wakefield?
I'm not even
Oh,
sure.
I thought we answered that question.
Apparently, some guy that Hell Pockets beat the living crap out of.
That's right. Double tension and Q-type for the win.
I
Shut
don't
the
know who
fuck
you
up!
Yeah. So, the tournament was great. They held ST and Alpha 2 on these really awesome consoleized CPS2 not kits, but CPS2 boards that allowed you to hook in your USB cable or USB sticks to them. Which, if you people don't understand how awesome that is, I don't like you anymore. But that shit is sick. Okay, and I
Yeah,
know
for
some
those who
people in this
don't-
chat will appreciate it.
For those who don't even know what that is, basically, I think it's just one guy, honestly, is creating a console that you can plug CPS2 boards into,
Nice.
and it has USB ports for sticks as well as HDMI to run to televisions. I think it might even have component as well, but I'm not 100% sure. So it's a bit pricey. I think they are about $400 is what I heard. And they're back ordered right now. But it's a lot smaller than hauling a cabinet into your house. And that's the only way you're going to play Super Turbo properly.
Yeah, I can see that. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, hopefully that catches on, and then he can mass produce them and cut down the price a little bit.
That would be nice.
Yeah. But no, I'm glad you guys are having events. Like, I actually caught most of, like, you know, the Friday event and the Saturday event, and it made me wistful for NorCal tournaments again. But, you know, I shouldn't complain too much. There's still NorCal tournaments. They're just, you know, nothing I play anymore.
Yeah.
But it's really good to see you guys down there having fun and playing old games again. You know, I saw Alpha 2 play, and, you know, I wasn't super impressed to see, you know, Wallace win in Alpha 2. Or did he? I think he lost. But anyway, he was playing, and, you know, whatever. It was amusing. But, you know, I was reminded, like, we don't do shit like that up here, you know? Everybody wants to, like, you know, focus on Marvel and AE, and I don't think we even have a good verbal relationship with a lot of our old players. Most likely because they're working for a living and taking care of family. But, no, that was really cool. So I hope that keeps going. Is that going to end up being a monthly or something, or a weekly?
I think that's the plan, to do it at least once a month, much like Rusty Perry.
Okay.
So, It was cool. It was just nice to see the arcade was basically packed 2 days in a row, and people were just playing games and they were having a good time. And I think that's what's important. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Watson and Armando didn't get much sleep because they did that 3 days in a row. They,
Oh,
they
shit.
did Rusty
Yeah.
Perry, then Geriatric Warfare, then Smash Sundays.
Hey, I mean, look, they were on some medication that allowed them to stay up for a bit. Okay, the nursing home was kind enough to do this for them.
Oh man,
They let them stay out a little bit past their bedtime. It's, you know, they were able to pull it off. They
Was
were a
that-
bit upset that they got home at about 6 in the morning, but they were good with it.
was that medication Jolt Cola?
I
Do they
don't know.
make Jolt Cola anymore?
They do. It's actually an energy drink now.
What's it
Oh,
called
that's-
now?
Jolt Cola.
Is it still
You get
just
it in the
called
bo-
that?
Yeah,
You get it in the bottle.
yeah.
It's gross.
It comes in different flavors.
It's got
Oh,
2 times the caffeine.
Nasty.
God, it's
Yeah,
like that
that's-
time I found Gatorade in a can and I just couldn't bring myself to drink it.
This
The real
liquid has never
question
seen the
was-
light of day.
Was it Red Fierce Berry Gatorade?
Yes?
Damn.
It was?
Yeah, it was the red one.
Why didn't you give it to me? I want to know what victory tastes like, just like my
Look,
heroes.
the best flavor of Gatorade has always been the clear watermelon. If you even begin to disagree, I will fight you in the streets outside your home.
Is that
I have one
watermelon?
question. Does it taste like victory?
Yes?
Nah, it tastes like watermelon.
David Serlin knows what victory tastes like.
Well, David Serlin didn't show up to win an Alpha 2 tournament this weekend, so...
Well, no. He showed up, remember? He was playing Jason Cole.
Oh, that's right, he did play him, I forgot.
And,
That was-
Old Man Cole destroyed him.
Really?
Yeah, David Serlin was definitely going under his alias of Rotanabor,
Yeah.
but we saw right through the disguise.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Look at him. You know it's... Okay, so he tried putting on a disguise by wearing a shirt that Sterling would never wear. Okay? And then he entered...
So
with
it
different
wasn't a
name.
snake shirt, but you're trying to tell me.
No,
Exactly.
it wasn't. That's the problem. He didn't have the Gatorade. And then, what gave it away? Rose.
He picked Rose, and he hit down strong, which is not a thing Rose players do, besides David Serlin. So we
And there-
immediately knew it was him.
There was a very peculiar rhythm he was hitting this crouch strong in. I really couldn't understand the timing to it. Had to be him.
But he lost to
You guys
Cole.
are idiots. You're all idiots. You're all idiots.
It's the birthday, man. We got to hit all the SDR tropes in one episode.
There's too many of them.
Major props to Rotanabor for bringing one of the consolized CVS or CPS2 boards. I don't know if he brought both, but I know he brought one of them. Without him, the tournament would have been able to happen. And if it did happen, it would have taken forever. Longer than it already did. Because it's
I was
really
about to
hard
say,
to
it already took forever.
Yeah. It's
But
really hard
this
to
is
hold
what
some of
you
these
get
tournaments.
for starting CVS 2 third instead of first.
Yeah, CVS2 started at about 8 o'clock, and we said it had 32 people?
34.
Yeah, about 34 people, and it ended at about 4:30 in the morning, I think. Because I definitely left around, I want to say 1:30, 2 o'clock, got home at about 4, and they weren't even on grand finals.
I stayed around a little more after Gibby left. I was going to say David Serlin left, but I couldn't believe David Serlin left. I stayed around a bit more just playing Soul Calibur 2 with Miller Time, and I think I ended up leaving at around 3 a.m., at which point I was like, oh, let me see this match that Watts is going to play this guy in grand finals. And sure enough, it goes to like last character, and I was like, whoa, that was match 1? I'll see you fuckers later.
You know, it's a good thing you left because 40 actually reset the bracket before
Oh, dear God.
Watts beat him in grand finals. And that was 3 out of 5 CVS 2.
Never the long haul, man.
But it was still fun to watch. It
Oh, yeah,
wasn't-
I stayed up. Even though we left a little after 10, I stayed up and watched the whole thing.
Okay, that's cool.
So
Wow, you're really doing the geriatric thing justice. I left a little after 10.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Stayed up a little bit after.
look, I had to go drink some warm milk and tuck myself in. Okay.
Gotta get up for the early
I
bird special.
Do that. Shut up.
Oh no, and this was real. I mean, ask Sanchez, ask anyone who saw me play Breakers. I almost broke my arm. I'm pretty sure like the arthritis in my elbow almost snapped from just mashing buttons.
Yeah, as someone that was there watching Breakers being played by Gibby versus his good buddy Jaime, aka our boy Nocturnal. Gibby was mashing so hard for the moves you have to mash for to get the maximum number of hits and damage that he seriously almost achieved Machoke status, where like his muscles are ripping through his skin. Like, he could not contain his own power.
This is very true.
You don't just run your hand across the board like I do?
I have no idea what you're talking
That's
about.
how savages mash, Chris.
Yeah.
Gentlemen
Wow.
know how to mash correctly.
They do the bishibashi?
I don't. What?
What?
You know,
That,
bishibashi matching.
that sounds perverted. No, I don't do that.
I want for the next geriatric warfare to people to wear their finest late '90s fashion. You know, I want to see fire on people's shirts and like haircuts similar
You know what I-
timings.
oh, man,
Yo,
I'm
cut off
totally
sweatpants?
No,
All I
we-
need to find is a shirt that has Big Dog on it.
You know, I don't want to see this happen because something's going to happen where Alex comes in a Raiders jacket and Gibby beats him up and takes it.
Yep, this will happen.
I'm going
I
to
will
find my
suplex the
best
hell out of
gangster Looney Tunes t-shirt.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
I always hated those things.
Yes.
I
Tasmanian
remember those
Devil in a
shirts.
Dodgers jersey. No, wait, fuck that. He's in a Giants jersey. That's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
so the tournament started
forward-
off with ST.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying the tournament started off with ST. I believe. I think I was the only one who entered out of the three of us. Me, Sanchez, and Paul.
Yeah.
I entered people that are associated with the cast or I play winner. I guess me, Nocturnal, Nerd Josh. All entered everything except Marvel. I think Nerd Josh entered Marvel, so I don't remember. But I kind of went 1 and 2 in ST. Could have went possibly 2 and something, but I screwed up and I suck. And then Mondo just he got mad at what I did to him in SNK game, so he had to give me the wallop in ST. if you watch our match, watch the second match, and it was just the two of us talking shit to each other. It's just great. It was terrible, but it was great.
Gotta get inside his head.
Yeah, I did that, and then he got me some chips and a Twinkie.
Oh, that was nice of me.
Concession price.
But see, this is the thing. I thought it was nice of him, but then I saw him give give the same thing to Sanchez too. I'm like, oh, this wasn't from the heart.
You're not
Yeah, well,
special.
you're not a special flower, Gibby. You're not a special. No.
We're all special flowers.
You are not
I don't-
Mondo's first rodeo.
See,
It's true.
I see.
But
So
going
Yeah.
forward, I'm hoping that we can maybe organize more events like this in the future. I know that Gibby would love to see an SNK-based event so that
Oh,
he
yeah.
can actually win something for once.
Well, I already talked to Mondo about this. If we do an SNK event, depending on what games there are, I'm not gonna enter.
You still got that rule? You're not. It's not your event anymore, man.
No, it kind of is. It's something that me and Mondo are working on together. We're gonna fuse together and become Man Commando or Command Chest. I don't know what you want to call it.
Command
We'll become-
Chest?
I don't know, man.
Command Chest. Command
Sounds like
chest.
collusion.
It kind of is collusion.
There's that word again.
Yeah. It just depends. If I enter, like seriously, I said to myself I can't really play breakers anymore, like the way I want to because of the mashing. Like I'm not joking when I say I almost broke my goddamn elbow. There was I could not move later at night. I really couldn't move it. And on the ride home, I just left it there. I put it in my sweater in a little sling, and I was like, well, no.
So you're saying I could win a
Upset.
bunch of money from you if I ran like a 1st to 50 money match and breakers against you?
Yep.
Sweet.
Probably could win, but I won't let it happen because it's you. And if you want to do this, let's do this at SCR.
Hell no, I'm not playing 50 matches.
Hey, those 50 matches will go by in like what, 30 minutes?
Yeah, I was
Probably.
gonna say, Gibby probably will still win because he'll beat you so fast that he won't actually break his arm. The
And
amount
then
of
I
time.
gotta drive him to the hospital.
Actually, that's a good thing. You should have a biathlon where it's like you play matches in breakers. You play like 1st to 10 in breakers, and then afterwards you guys have an arm wrestling match for like twice the amount of money that he initially.
Chris can win that unless, hey, Sanchez, you want to make some money drop kicking a big black man?
Yes.
Awesome.
Right in front of me, shit.
This is what I went to school for.
Sick.
But
So,
in terms of scheduled events, there is going to be a virtual on Gundam tournament series
sweet.
coming up at Super Arcade.
Nice.
And-
So that should be interesting.
they're also doing Soul Calibur, right? This coming weekend?
Yeah, there's going to be a Soul event. Is it 2 and 5? I'm not 100% sure.
Yes, it is.
I think it's 2 and 5, yeah. they're trying to do it leading up to SDR, which is going to have both 2 and 5.
So good times were had by all. Hopefully, going forward, we'll get. It would be nice to have something like this every weekend. Honestly, at Super, give people a reason to show up, even if they're not going to enter the tournament. They'll show up, see people they know, maybe sit down. Basically, make it a destination. So, I think that would be really good for it in the long run.
Right now, the anime guys have a day dedicated for them. So that they have that. There's no reason, like in all honesty, there's no reason to do Street Fighter 4 or Marvel 3 on the weekends because it's just there.
They already have. Yeah, they're there every day.
Didn't there used to be like a 3D day at Super? It was like Virtual Fighter, Tekken, and Soul Calibur.
They did it a couple times. Yeah, I can't remember if they had a name for it specifically. I don't think they did.
Okay.
But that would be nice to do. It would be nice to start something with Tekken.
Yeah. Tekken really needs something.
They're not on Wednesdays anymore?
Well, no, they are.
But just old Tekken too, because like
right.
People still love Tekken Tag 1. People like I don't know, maybe Sanchez will still play the crap out of Tekken 4 just so they could pick Jin.
Why would you say I'd play Tekken? That's fucked up, man.
Just gotta out him like that, man.
Just gotta like, I just casually play Tekken 4 in my spare time. It's like, oh man, are all the windows closed? Did the folks leave? Just gonna...
Can I pick Jin and push people up against walls?
God, I love combat. He's like Mokujin, but way worse.
Shiny.
Yeah. But speaking of Rebel Up, I believe that's this weekend at Super Arcade. So, everybody in the area, go check it out.
Everybody also not in the area, go to it. You should just go anyways.
Travel.
Well, I mean, don't fly across the country for a bi-weekly. I mean, you can if you really want to.
That's what Nerd Josh does every week.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the guy lives in.
He gets on the red eye every week.
Yeah. But speaking of BlazBlue, so news released recently that they're actually going to patch it after much controversy behind the Kokonoe doping scandal.
Performance enhancing drive.
I heard she's under investigation.
Wow. PED, performance enhancing drive.
That's what it does, right? That's what the Gravitron does. It just makes everything better.
She's on the HGH.
Yeah, you can just teleport to the Gravitron. You can make your stuff better. You can pull people away from you, pull people into things, make your balls fly towards it.
You know there was a problem when you can make your balls fly towards anyone, dude. Like that.
Yeah, I know. They shouldn't be flying anywhere, honestly.
No, just inappropriate.
My God. But that's cool.
The patch will be coming out in arcades in Japan in March. Then the Vita version of BlazBlue will have it in April, and then I heard May is when we should expect it.
Which is the one everybody's looking at, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's going to be really interesting that America only gets standard CP for, 2 months?
2 months, basically.
Yeah. And then...
which is weird.
Well, should we just wait until May to buy it, or what?
No. I mean, unless you want to get beat up really bad when you start playing it.
Yeah.
Because you're 6+ months behind everybody.
Boppity bippin'.
Oh, man, that's a tough sell.
Also, Chris, how could a lore expert like yourself keep yourself from playing its robust, and by robust I mean long-winded story mode?
I'll be honest, after CT story mode, I was kind of done. I just read the wikis after that.
Dude, it's even more long-winded in CP. Like, there are hardly any fights in story mode now. It's basically a visual novel.
Yeah. And not a very engaging one.
How would you know? It's in Japanese.
I could definitely catch the inflection upon their voices. There was also those few times that I was like, hey, what does this say? And you were like, oh, I think Ragna's mad.
Isn't that his entire character?
Yeah, he's totally angry all the time. He's like, great game, let's have another!
Didn't he stop using foul language in the American?
Yes, the American Ragna was nerfed.
Yeah. He was toned down from being a savage, I guess you can call it. He's more eloquent, I guess you could say.
Not really eloquent. He just kind of grunts the swears and doesn't quite get to them.
He's a tennis player.
Yeah.
No, like I remember that because like when they first dubbed him, like it reminded me of like those old '90s anime where they were just like, let's add a F-bomb right here.
Oh yeah, like
Totally
Violence Jack and all that.
Yeah.
It's like this is too violent for kids, so we'll just bump up the rating by throwing the F-bomb 100 times.
Or like R-rated Bison in the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
Oh, he just calls people shit?
Yeah, shit. Like that bitch is dead. Like wow, man, that was totally uncalled for.
I think it'd be more eloquent.
Bibston needs to cool it.
That's right, man. But yeah, so they're gonna nerf Kokonoe apparently.
Word is that the entire cast is getting changed, but nobody knows how much that each character is getting changed. Obviously, there was a recent interview with, I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but it was in Famitsu, I believe, where they basically talked about some of the things that are being done to Kokonoe. They also mentioned Bullet and Izayoi, and just some general changes that they wanted to do with the characters. Nothing specific and nothing final, but just ideas they want to put in place. One of the big things for Kokonoe was that they want to remove some of her Gatlings to reduce the amount of damage she gets off random confirms. And the Graviton, the Pulse basically is... You're not going to be able to... I'm not sure. It's not going to be active unless it's in combos. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work.
Yeah, they apparently activate Graviton, which now causes like a super long amount of block stun and hit stun when it connects, especially if it counter hits. The wording seems that it will not cause anything unless it's in a combo. Like, unless they're already in hit stun, it won't force them to go into hit stun or block stun. So that's the reading that I got from it. The Gatlings thing is a huge thing because it's really silly that she can do something like 6A, which is a near perfect anti-air. We're talking like Slayer levels of unfuckwitability, and have her just Gatling into a low. Or jump cancel that said low back into that 6A. Or not even jump cancel it, just go back into it. Just fucking pick any direction you want with your Gatlings.
Yeah,
it's
the fact that she has a lot of Gatlings into another move back into the original move is really weird for BlazBlue. So
it's almost like CT in where he could just like mix and match which direction he wanted to go with his B and then really force you to deal with it. But it's way worse because she has 6A, which is, like I mentioned, incredibly stupid.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, you know, you get to hold it.
Yeah, they also mentioned just nerfing her damage overall, so that might mean that Black Hole has like severe scaling, which, you know, might almost make it fair.
Maybe. We'll see.
I mean, it's still an incredibly stupid super design to begin with. But
yeah,
the fact that it causes no scaling to your follow-up combo is just one of those things where it's like, hey guys, remember when you designed Nu and CT and hit stun didn't, like her hit scaling didn't kick in until like hit 30?
Yeah.
Like, who didn't get fired for that? Like, I'd like to know if they're still with the company so I could just like talk to them and be like, did you work on Kokonoe? Like, is that you? Are you the guy?
He's like, hey man, I just get him out the gate. I don't look at him afterwards.
Yeah, I'm the idea guy. I don't test anything. He just has like my notes. Cat girl, strong, has gun made of ice.
Brilliant, perfect.
Brilliant. Raises for all.
This will sell.
Well, to be fair, it did sell.
Yeah, it did. I mean, everybody bought her, so they could be up to date. Now, imagine if there was like some kind of process where they're just like, we're just not going to download Kokonoe's DLC because she's too broken.
I've heard that argument on Twitter, and I'm already done with it.
I feel like it's a really Mr. Riot move. Like, almost like it was intentionally like, well, this character's popular, no, she's pretty good, let's just leave it as is. And, you know, we gave away one for free. One of them you can unlock, but this one's the one you have to pay for unless you get it in the time frame. So we'll make lots of money, and then we'll address the issue.
You have to pay for your spanking.
I mean, think about it. For those 2 months in the American release, you're going to have silly Kokonoe.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, it really is a Mr. Riot move. It's like, hey, you remember when we released Thresh? Well, you probably should have bought him. I mean, I don't know. Probably could have won some games.
Could have gotten yourself the diamond.
Well.
Oh my god. I couldn't live with that.
Do we
But
still
that's
have
cool.
beef with Mr. Riot? Like,
Of course. We always
No,
actually.
I don't think
right.
we officially have beef.
oh, it's not unofficial beef.
It's an unofficial beef.
Excellent.
I have criticisms to Mr. Riot.
There we go. That's fair.
I would only
Mr.
cut
Riot.
a mixtape track dissing Mr. Riot.
Oh,
I
not
would
the
cut
whole
full
not the
album.
whole mixtape would be dedicated to dissing Mr. Riot.
No, and I wouldn't put it on my full album either. It would only be a
Oh, wow.
mixtape diss.
Oh, we really are hitting all the tropes today, aren't we?
Yes,
Yeah, we
we
are.
are.
I think
We've
we
got
really are.
85
Hold
more
on,
to go.
I actually made lists of the ones we haven't hit. All right, we got Serlin, Chess 2 there, that's out of the way. Mike Wakefield, we got out of the way.
Wait,
Did we say the word fun yet?
Oh,
No,
there
no,
we
that
go.
one's coming
There,
up.
well,
I'm sure.
that's out of the way now.
Well, that's got to be in context.
Well, fun.
Oh, there's that word again.
We did the collusion one.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's not even ours though.
I know, but we made it pretty. Well, I wouldn't say we made it ours, but I mean,
We did
touched
want to
on
make it
enough.
ours because we made that idea of having the Pee Wee Herman
Yeah.
alarm go off whenever somebody said it, but we never went through with it because
So
it's
we go
incredibly
through with-
obnoxious.
Yeah, we go through with it off the cast. We never
Yeah.
do it on the cast.
Yeah,
That's-
because you don't trust me.
I don't
on
want to blow your
soundboards.
eardrums out any more than Chris already does.
No, it's not that we don't trust your soundboards, Chris. This is just legitimately obnoxious.
It wasn't even my idea. Don't tell me that.
No, I know. That's what I'm
No.
saying. It's like Walkman. He does it. It annoys the hell out of everyone. It's bad.
Actually, Walkman, can you fire it up just so we can get it out of the way?
All right, I mean, we've talked about it enough.
Yeah, we've talked about it enough. I think the people just they get to hear it once. This is a special anniversary edition
Turn your
sound.
headphones down, everyone.
I'm going to activate it. So, when I say the word, Tony, let me know when you're good. I'll say the word.
Oh shit.
Can't believe we're doing this.
Tony is currently looking through his folder after folder of
Yeah, I was about to say.
Waku Waku
doesn't know
7
where it
fanfiction. Okay, so he's good. Collusion.
Alright.
You know how much planning went into that originally and then never getting used?
I hope you enjoyed it because we're never doing that again.
Right.
I might sneak it in sometime. It's weird. I notice a lot of the times I use it now, my sound from my voice doesn't transmit. So
It's probably
It's
taking
nice.
one current over the other.
yeah, it's odd. I gotta look into it more. It didn't used to do that.
You know, I really feel like this is actually just becoming an outtakes show. You know how sometimes they do that at the end of a season?
Oh man, we're the clip show.
Yeah, we're the clip show, I think.
Now we're
That's-
better than that. We're just touching on things that have made us so great for the last 2 years.
Being annoying?
That's part of it.
I wouldn't
Okay.
say annoying. I would say abrasive.
Or are we endearing? Are we endearing? Is that what it is?
Endearingly abrasive.
Lovable
We're really
assholes.
abrasive.
Endearingly abrasive and engaging.
It's like Poochie. Like Poochie from, we're just so in your face. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking
We
about.
have to go back to our planet now.
I honestly thought he was talking about Power Instinct, but
Wow.
No, we're talking.
So,
Nobody's ever
speaking
talking
of
about
going
Power
back
Suit.
to your planet, what appears to be the folding of Complexity's fighting game division today.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Sending both F Champ and Shady K back to their respective planets.
San Diego?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, San Diego and, I guess
well,
NorCal.
Champ's not going anywhere.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
But it is sort of. It seems sort of sudden, I guess, is the best way to put it. I had thought that Complexity was going to fold more. Well, at least fold its fighting game division more than a year ago
Yeah.
when Champ was the only remaining member. And then they hired Shady K on as a media manager, and I thought, well, okay, I guess they're in this for the long haul. But apparently not.
But
But
Well, Complexity let go of their players. PDP shut down, and Cien and who else left?
Gactol.
Gact.
Shannon Gact.
Shannon Gact, my favorite female player.
So it's pretty big, I guess you could say. 'Cause
Well, here's the new news. Shin and Gect apparently are picked up by Razer.
oh, Razer.
Yeah,
Razer has what? They have
Fudo, Latif.
Oh yeah, they have.
Is Latif still part of Razer anymore? I don't
remember.
think that's true.
No, I think he's gone.
Yeah,
Well, they got Fudo.
they have
Isn't PR
Itabashi
Rog part
Zangief,
of
I
Razer?
think. No, Rog.
I thought
Wong,
Rug with ADG.
Wrong.
Yeah, he's EG.
Yeah,
Oh,
So-
okay, he's EG, right?
yeah. They're,
Well, he always has the
Ricky,
Razer stick, which is
Justin,
incredibly confusing.
Eduardo, and Ari Flo.
yeah, and all.
I think that EG might have some a deal with Razer because I think a lot of them
They're a
have
sponsor
those
for
stick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
they,
so
they,
there you
they
go.
have the Razer patch on their blazers, I guess you can call them.
Oh, so it's like
So
a
it
joint
is
sponsorship.
it is interesting to see basically American players losing sponsorship opportunities, international players getting more, I guess. But you really can't, it's obviously not from, moving from one to the other. It's more just a coincidence.
Well, I mean, I wonder. Like, we all know the PDP thing was just like they are getting out of the FGC pretty much altogether. Mad Cats, that's kind of still up in the air. I don't think they have a reason to get out. I assume they still have Daigo and Tokido, so no reason to leave
But
that.
they're obviously not but they're not pursuing new players either, it doesn't
they're
seem
not.
like.
No, they're kind of. I wouldn't say they're happy with what they have, but they're keeping it.
They're content.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah. I would say Razer is Razer and Arcade Shock are the only two sponsors right now in America that are pursuing new players.
Well, we don't know for example, Broken Tier might be.
Yeah,
But
that's
we
what I was
don't
gonna say. Broken Tier's still alive and well, and Kugi's still maybe looking for new players to add to his roster.
Okay.
What about I forgot there was one more we needed to hit. Let's just get it out of the way. What about a rather imperial sponsor? I can't quite remember their name.
Oh,
they
sweet
seem
Jesus.
they seem to always be expanding.
No.
Are you talking about the Traveling Circus again?
Oh God!
This
They still exist.
Okay, look, check it out. This is some kind of traveling circus, but it's not the traveling circus.
Yeah, it's not the traveling.
It's the original
exactly.
traveling circus.
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
I think
then-
what Gibby's trying to say, it's pretty clowny, but I think
Well,
Oh.
apparently they'll be around long after we're dead, so
yeah,
You know.
just like cockroaches,
pretty much.
they'll survive
Wow.
nuclear holocaust.
All I want to say is, like, it's a lot easier to survive something when you're not doing shit.
That's probably the
Well-
smartest thing I've ever heard Chris say.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
going to say.
Chris, just you can leave the show forever now. You never stop that.
Your usefulness to us is now through.
You have peaked.
Okay, let's give out the first code right now. Let's see, how do I work this thing? Boom, boom.
I hope I win.
T minus 10 seconds until
I
Gibby
like
drops
that.
in the call.
If I do win, make sure to tell me, but I won't accept the code.
That's right.
Oh,
We're about
you're
to
gonna
give
be that
out
guy.
a Metal Slug 3 code where you can play Metal Slug Beta on
Metal Slug.
Metal Slug.
All right, okay. So
Metal
first winner,
Slug.
It's a special edition.
first winner, guy I really like, 98 player. I personally feel he's the best 98 player in the country right now. Laban KOF 98 on Twitch.
Wait, what? Is he
Oh.
watching?
Yeah, he's watching. He's
Yeah,
watching
on there.
and he just
He's
and he
always
won,
watching.
and he's in chat.
Yeah, remember that one time
Oh.
that Laban snuck into our call?
Oh yeah.
That was awesome. And then him and Sparkster had that debate that kind of derailed us for an hour.
That's nothing new.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
always happened with us. We always had debates that derailed us for multiple hours.
Yeah.
So let me see. Shoot me the code. Chris?
I hope that LeBron can actually play Metal Slug 3.
Yeah, hopefully he can.
Wow. Oh my god,
man.
you might have to play that soundbite again, Tony.
But going back to topic at hand, now that we have raffled the first code off, it does seem interesting that more gaming groups are seemingly moving away from direct sponsorships in the fighting game community, whereas, and I made a blog post about this earlier, is that tournaments themselves seem healthier than ever. There's a lot more sponsors you see when you watch tournament streams, a lot more sponsors. Even if they're local sponsors, it just seems like there is more money coming in to the scene, even if it's not directly for players to travel or to as their job. So
No, that's true. I mean, well, generally speaking, something I believe had to change because, I mean, at least on the sponsors side, they were just like, a lot of them were probably not really sure how they were going to handle these players. We saw with PDP time and time again, they just seemed to be all thumbs when it came to PR stuff and what they should actually do with these players. And that's a reason why I like Arcade Shock, is because all they want from you is to show up and play the game and maybe sell some buttons. That's all they want. And they tell you that's what they want. A lot of these sponsorships, they don't tell you shit. And so a lot of these players don't end up doing shit.
What I think is nice is that there are more sponsors, but they don't even necessarily have to be so much fighting game related, but just in general. Because I feel that the people that really do go out of their way to get sponsors, like even from like smaller, more like weekly tournaments, stuff like that, they've been putting in a lot of legwork in order to get people behind them, which is pretty nice. So yeah, I mean, if you want your scene to succeed, just keep working.
I mean, I would say that the question remains, like, are sponsors going to eventually expect more out of these majors, though? Because, like, even though they're healthy for us, the players and the community, what's it looking like on their end? Are they expecting growth out of it, or are they just...
Here's a question for you, then. What if it's not dependent on the majors? What if it's dependent on the players themselves that they are sponsoring? Like, look at the ones that are still around for EG. So, they obviously have streams and regular content that they deliver, which we can compare to PDP or AGE or whatever the hell company that was. There wasn't as much content from those players as opposed to just their tournament performance and perhaps some shilling every now and then. Mm-hmm. Like content you would want to watch. That probably isn't the case for Filipino Champ and for Long, who definitely did try to provide content. That might be a different case altogether. But you have to wonder, for these sponsors, is it trying to get a return on their player? Like if they have somebody they can create, for the lack of a better term, a brand for themselves that they can constantly promote, wouldn't that make it better for them than just somebody that can get consistent tournament placings?
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be, a much more brighter avenue for them to pursue.
Yeah, because, I mean, with tournament placings, there's only so many events, whereas if they can provide, even if it's just once a week content, that's going to get them viewers, it's going to get constant eyes on their product, and constant eyes on their player, which is win-win for both.
Right, and that's something I've always argued, is the fact that players, in addition to going to tournaments, need to be doing stuff on the off-season. I don't think they... I wouldn't say they didn't take it seriously, but I do feel like, a lot of them were like, I don't have to do anything other than going to majors and placing top 8, and there my sponsorship is validated, And in the off time, I'm just,
twiddling
my thumbs, starting shit on Twitter,
Yeah. Well, I think it's very much like the editorial piece we posted on iPlayWinner last week from Sweet Johnny Cage, where he talked about people want a return on investment, excuse me. That a lot of these companies or a lot of these teams came into fighting games thinking, fighting games are going to blow up and it's going to be worth having these players sponsored. Well, it's been a couple years now, and fighting games certainly haven't blown up the way that something like League has, so maybe they just decided, well, we've already put this much money in, and it hasn't happened yet, so maybe it's time to pull the plug.
Right.
That's what I can think.
Right, and it didn't help that, like we said, these players weren't really and the ironic thing here is Champ probably did the most out of any of them, And when it comes to producing content when you're not at a tournament, Champ was the king of producing content at any time, any day. So, I mean, he technically is the ideal sponsored player.
In that regard.
Well, especially
in that regard.
With FGTV running basically every day for, what was it, more than a year? Probably like a year and a half?
Right. The problem with that, though, is I think he felt that FGTV was gonna survive on its own. It was going to, the actual channel, the show was going to be the event, the draw there.
Yeah, it was going to be the brand, right?
Right, and I'll be honest, for the first year, it was hot. That was probably the biggest FGC program on pretty much 90% of the year. You know, everybody was watching that, and then it got old because nothing was changing. You know, like they went through their initial stage where they just played games, and some notable FGC luminaries showed up, and then they went through that stage where they tried to sell the drama over over some live TV kind of crap, and that got viewers, and then it just got old. And they moved out of the house that they originally had and got a new place, and I don't think that really affected it that much, but it was just the fact that viewers were having their attentions divided. And I'll be honest, 2012 was a magical year for that shit, so it just hit at the right time. 2013 things kind of slipped, and we're in 2014 now, and we saw what happened last weekend. The point is though. Oh, I was gonna say the point is you have to continue to grow your product, even if you are producing stuff on the off season and saying hey, I'm over here working and trying to make things trying to make myself seem busy when I'm not at a tournament. You still have to work on that product. There's still stuff that has to be done. You can't be running AI DBZ Budokai matches.
But why not?
Well, and I think that. Did you just say why not?
Yes, she did.
Kelly's here to ask the hard-hitting questions.
Hold on, just a quick aside. This is a yes or no question, basically. Kelly, if I were to put AI Nappa versus a Cyberman, who would you put your money on?
Look, Vegeta, it's a Pokemon.
What?
All right, that's our answer. Let's go on.
No, I was just gonna say I think part of you're right in that FGTV kind of caught it at that time, and that's why it was so popular. I think also the fact that every year since streaming, there have been more and more big tournaments every month. So I think that also was cutting into their viewership.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was completely
because every weekend there's a tournament that people want to watch, so they'd rather watch a tournament than people play casuals or a reality show that just happens to have gamers in it.
Right. And and I'm not saying it FGTV wasn't a novel idea, but I felt like it just, like you said, it just can't survive as hey, you should watch this because it's FGTV. You know what you're gonna get, and
yeah,
people started realizing, we know what we're gonna get, so why watch it? The same thing with Salty Bets, man. And I'm not even saying that Salty Bets was an FGC stream, but that's a good example of something that was really super hot for a while, and then people were just why the fuck are we watching this?
I don't know.
Yeah, that even goes with the Peaceful J, right? People used to watch that all the time.
Yeah, Peaceful J was one of the biggest channels back in the day.
Yeah.
24-hour stream. It worked. Don't know what happened to that. I'm not...
As far as I know, Peaceful J still runs. At least they run a lobby. I don't know that they still stream. But
don't they stream at tournaments now?
I don't know.
Maybe?
But it was neat too because they would really engage people, and I think if you got a 50 win streak, you would win a prize, some Xbox Live points or something like that.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I think
it just becomes.
Go ahead.
Oh, go for it, Chris.
I was just gonna say I think
I was just.
All right, executive decision. Go for it, Paul.
Okay, I was just gonna say I think it just becomes the problem of overexposure. Stuff like Salty Bets, everybody's spamming it on social media. Everybody got tired of it that much faster than if it had grown organically. And I think that has become the problem with a lot of things, a lot of streams that aren't tournament streams. Because a tournament ends in 3 days. It goes away until next year, so people don't get tired of it. And I think a lot of the streams that have been big and then sort of fallen off is just because they get too much exposure. People just get tired of them.
No, that's true. That's actually what I was going to say.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you can't push people to be loyal to I wouldn't even say loyal really, but you can't push them to love something. Like you said, most majors are just once a year. So they have pretty much another 365 days to look forward to the next, event that if that's the only event they watch.
Yeah.
And for the other smaller stuff, it's just it's hard. I'm a fan of doing things weekly. Doing something every day is is crazy right now. You know, trying to come up, like I almost would say FGTV would survive if it was like maybe a weekly show.
Well, that's kind of the point of, kind of goes to the point that I was making in terms of content. It's like that FGTV seems so far on the other end of not creating content that it just became extreme when they have a persistent 24-hour stream basically that they tried to fill up, where you had like the Dasser Bro late night hour and God knows what he was doing. Like, 'cause I
forgot he was at FGTV before.
Right,
Man,
they had
over.
time slots. Yeah, and they fucked them over, which we will not get into now.
No.
And they had time slots for shit that they tried to fill up. And this is just so far in terms of getting shit out there that it just becomes ridiculous, and people, like both of you had mentioned, just get burnt out on it. Whereas, what is Justin doing now? He has like the Hungry Games, or what is he calling them, that he has at his place? Games. Yeah, and he just invites people over, what, like maybe once a week, just gets notable players from SoCal, some up-and-comers, and just has them play. And that's a stream that you can look forward to. You can kind of set some time aside for it. It's like watching your favorite TV show. I used to watch 24 religiously before that really horrible 6th season, and that was something I looked forward to every week. Now, if 24 was on every day and I had to plan every single day of my week around watching said show when I got home, it's frustrating. I'm not going to dedicate that much of my time when there's so many other things I'd like to do.
Especially if nothing's happening that day.
Exactly. It's like, oh, in this episode, Jack Bauer runs afoul of a burrito. Spends his time in the pooper.
Exactly. You don't want to like.
Go for it, Chris.
I was like, you don't want to like get caught when you're doing a show like that. You don't want to get caught just like having nothing going on, and there was several times that on FGTV there was just straight up play after they had like some major, development. I guess I'll say, like somebody got blown up or there was some scandal or whatever, and everybody wanted to talk or hear about that more, and they would just be kind of sitting there playing games and. It kind of got to not being about games anymore, It kind of got to being about like, hey, what did I just miss on this show that's on all the freaking time,
Well, I think streaming is now running into the problems that television first ran into, which is how do you fill up an entire day of content without boring the hell out of everybody? And then how do you do that every day? Because... And a lot of us weren't born or were very young or I don't even know. When TV ended, channels went off for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because there wasn't enough content to fill up an entire day. So for streaming, we're starting to run into that now where, yeah, people want to watch streams like they watch television, but the diversity of content isn't there. So we end up watching dead air at FGTV for 5 hours, and then you're like, wow, why am I wasting my time watching this at all?
Right.
And then everybody tunes out.
Right. And I'm going to just say, like, we know F-Champ is more than FGTV. He's done a lot more than that, but that was the biggest thing that he had done for Complexity or with the help of Complexity. So, I mean, I can assume FGTV is dead now, at least in its original form.
Oh, yeah, definitely in the form that it was originally. I'm sure that the idea is still there, but who knows if they'll revive it in any capacity.
Right.
The most consistent fighting game stream I personally feel that goes on a daily basis pretty much is Arturo stream, NYC Furby. He streams, he'll bring people over to his place to stream, he'll go to other people's places to stream, he does basically what Spooky used to do. But Art will also focus on like match play analysis, and he'll just turn on matches that people send to him, and he'll like dissect the match, and that brings in a lot of viewers. People really want to hear what Art has to say about their matches because they respect the shit out of his opinion.
Yeah, I honestly think what Art does is a really almost close to perfect balance as far as like content creation, because there's definitely consistent things that you can watch, you can put up, but it's not always the same thing. Like, it's not always going to be Marvel, it's not always going to be AE. Mm-hmm. There's old games, there's anime games, and there's, like you said, this content analysis, match analysis that's really appreciated by a lot of people. Like, this is somebody that's a seasoned tournament veteran, and you can get his perspective on something as opposed to just watching him play casuals and potentially just mollywop whoever he happens to be playing.
Yeah.
Like, you can really understand his perspective and perhaps even the perspective of some of the players that he's reviewing. This is way more structured while still being able to provide regular content.
And then when you're done with that, he's playing Baseball Stars online with somebody, so you're not tired of fighting games.
Yeah, and that
Basically,
definitely is going to
get
appeal to
that
someone.
break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like it's like how network television, you have your dramas, and then they might be bookended by a comedy or the news by the end of the night, because you don't want to just put on 24 hours of one thing, because nobody is going to sit and watch 24 hours. Obviously cable news runs 24 hours and ESPN runs 24 hours.
And they suck.
I don't think anybody one person will watch all 24 hours of that. It just doesn't happen.
No.
I mean, I will say
Me.
this. I will watch 24 hours of I Love Lucy. If there was just a network that just had Lucille Ball 24 hours a day, I'd probably watch it.
I watch 24 hours of Law and Order like regularly.
Wow,
Just
you've got
regular Law and
problems.
Order? Or?
Any Law and Order. I don't
SVU.
care.
Wow.
SVU's my fave, but
Yes.
I'll take all of them.
Well, Kelly's 24-hour Law and Order channel. Somebody get on that.
It's called USA.
Yo, waiting on that WWE network, dog.
I will be there for that WWE network. You know that.
Yes. I will not be. I'll be
But I will
watching at
not
work.
be watching it 24 hours a day.
You're not gonna miss
Think
anything.
that now.
Because
That's
even
true,
all right,
I do
actually that's a great example. Because even when the network starts up, it's probably just going to be a couple of shows and then repeated, infinitely, until they start beefing up the schedule with more programming.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm not even kind of going into this. I'm not even sure if the WWF network is going to have a programming lineup or if it's all going to be on demand. They haven't really made that clear yet.
That's true. Yeah, it has been kind of. Well, they said they're going to do live shows, so I assume they have to have some kind of scheduling.
Again, they haven't really made it clear, so maybe. But if they're still doing that as well as having on demand, I think that you're still not going to get, a whole amount, like a large portion of the audience that just is watching whatever's on at any given time.
Very true.
So.
Well, I guess it's up to IPW to create the first 24/7 stream network with all new content every day. No reruns.
Maybe there'll be a video of me doing a cartwheel at some point. Catch it once a day.
Put it on Tosh Point.
It'll be-
At Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. Back at it again, Krispy Kreme. Just smash my neck against the wall.
That eventually, if that happens, there's going to be a show on IPW where it's just Chris sitting in front of a counter testing beers. He's like, yes, this beer tastes of almond. Yes, quite a good bouquet on it. And then by the end of the show, he's like, this beer is awesome.
This beer is awesome. I'm gonna chug it.
I'm gonna be perfectly
into my
honest.
veins.
After the discussion of content creation, this is actually like a really good idea. So I don't even know if I should be putting it out in the ether. But wouldn't it be
Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right. Well,
Do it.
Instead, let's give out this second Steam code.
Oh yes,
Alright.
Steam codes.
So now I know how to work with this thing better. Winner is nope. Can't have that jerk win it. Super FX.
who was it?
It's one
Damn
of the
it, I really
cast.
wanted one.
No, we can't give it to the cast. That's bullshit. We can't.
It picked one of us. God, this really is.
Yeah, I
staged.
didn't see if I can cut out certain people. So let's do it again.
Just tell me if I win.
No, you're not gonna win.
I just tell me if I do. I don't need the code, but I want to feel like I actually won something.
I want to make sure you don't know if you win. God damn.
I don't use drugs, so I'm a winner every day. But
Seg just won. Okay, screw Seg.
Seg didn't even play Metal Slug.
You
I
don't
don't
know
think he
that.
knows what that is.
Seg plays League with Haunts.
Oh, Hounds?
We're giving away what they're
Hounds.
doing.
Okay.
He's like mid-match right now.
Next winner. Oh, hey. Next winner, Matrix Matt. I've seen him in chat a few times, but he's in chat right now. Matt, do me a favor and DM me on Twitter, or just send me a message on Twitter and I'll DM you. The code at Manchester or at SDRcast. Follow one of them.
Is
Or
he
both.
even here watching?
Well, it said he won. He's a viewer.
What if he knew this was happening and he just like timed out in the fucking,
He's
just
like,
waiting in the chat all day?
"No!" God,
there he
I
is.
There's Matt.
Never mind.
Okay,
There he is.
big winner. Actually, that's an interesting question. Nerd Josh asked, "Did I win?" and he didn't. But if he won, Would we
No.
give him a code?
No, we would not.
Yeah,
give
because he's
Dirk
a partnered with I Play Winner and
Yeah,
being on
he's
Team Spooky
IDW
umbrella.
affiliate. Yeah.
I'm
Sorry,
also pretty sure he owns that Metal Slug.
but he doesn't have the Steam
not-
version. I bet.
Yeah, not the Steam version, but yeah, he probably probably has it. I mean, I have the Metal Slug collection honestly on Wii, so I don't know what I'm complaining about. But
Yeah, I mean, I brought Slug 3 to Super, and people surprisingly played the crap out of it.
Metal Slug games are fun.
Well, they don't play 5 from what I gather. They play the hell out of this. Also,
This 5 kind of sucks.
Mark the Wolves, highest grossing MVS game at Super Arcade. I'm 100% sure of this because
You put
One
all the
kid-
money into it.
no, one kid had a 35 game win streak against some other
Gibby's
kid.
like, I'm sure of this because I've kept track of the money that I
Yes,
put
I
in."
did. I did. Yeah, I'm probably gonna just dump my cart there and just leave it with them.
I'm buying this cab now.
One of them to steal it.
So does that mean it's like an official landmark there or something?
Registered historic place.
Yeah. Gibby lost his youth here.
Wait, but
Can
Gibby,
can we
if-
actually
if-
get a stand-up cabinet? Because that'd be much nicer. But
dude, Gibby,
that's
you'd be making $875 a day.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
dude,
want to
that's
play
what.
Metal Slug on back-to-back modified afterburner cabs. You know, I want to. When I move to the left, I want it to tilt.
That'd be sick.
Nobody remembers what Afterburner is.
Hey,
Yes, they
hey,
do.
hey.
I love Afterburner. What are you talking about?
Well, you're alone.
I'm not. What are you talking about? I had like the.
I meant as a person.
Oh
just
yeah,
not in the
well,
other act.
I'm always alone. You know, my daughter looks at me; she barely recognizes me every day. Here. Anyway, so while we're giving out that code to Matt, and I guess that kind of just concludes our sponsorship discussion. I mean, I'm sure Champ will get something else. It's not like he's not one of the most famous people in this whole community, so somebody's gonna want a piece of that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, and you know, if there's hope for Shin and Gact, then there's probably hope for Chris G and maybe Romance.
Right now, I would say that Street Fighter and Marvel players have the biggest chance of being sponsored.
I would think so too.
Because King of Fighters, even though King of Fighters is huge at EVO, it doesn't really get much attention outside of that.
No, right,
Yes.
I understand. It's kind of like sponsoring an Olympic athlete year round. You know, it's just
Yeah.
you know.
Well, it works for Wheaties.
Well, yeah.
Works
Well,
for
let's get
McDonald's.
Romance on some Wheaties or Reynolds. Well, Reynolds already sponsored, so yeah, you know, no sponsorships for KOF players anymore.
So okay, that's it. We just put Romance on the Wheaties box, and boom, we get him sponsorship.
Yeah,
Waiting for
exactly.
that. I'm waiting for that Photoshop.
We'll have
Okay.
them sing. We'll have them sing "America the Beautiful."
Okay. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, so King of Fighters players, I mean, we've seen the past 6 months of KOF, or 7 months actually, since EVO. It hasn't really been that big, so any sponsor coming into this wouldn't really see a reason to pick up a KOF player
Exactly.
until now. Like now, with the start of the new tournament season, and EVO games being announced tomorrow here
Ooh.
on I Play Winner on the Fray, 7
the
p.m. Pacific
Fray.
Standard Time, I believe.
Special guest Mr. Wizard to announce the games. You should all tune in. Be there.
I wonder if he's really gonna show up, man. Like, cause
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna do this because I know you're gonna drag it out, Chris. Mr. Wizard's a Broncos fan. he was
he
at
hasn't tweeted since the start of the game yesterday, man.
he was at the Super Bowl, had amazing seats. I gotta give it to him. Those are some damn good seats. And his team got blown out. Simple as that. So hopefully he shows up, and hopefully he's not, mad at everything. I think he'll be fine. I don't think there's gonna be any issues.
By Tuesday, I think he's probably taken that one day to try to cleanse
Decompress.
the demons, as it were.
Yep. So yeah, what there are plenty of rumors going around that Road to Evo is going to be completely different than it was before. It's going to be reworked. It's going to be different. We're not sure how. Hopefully that gets announced tomorrow.
You mean
Because
that
if
I was gonna say, does that mean I can't take the 9090 Evo anymore?
I don't know. So
I think that was a joke that went over a lot of people's heads.
yeah, I know people don't understand
You
California.
should have just made that really generic so everyone can understand. It's like, oh, you mean I can't take local freeway to Evo anymore?
Local off-ramp direction towards Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah. So
But hopefully Wizard will have the answer to everybody's questions and more tomorrow on the fray.
Mhm.
But probably not, because he likes to keep a few things under his hat, as always.
yeah, I mean his wizard hat has a lot of secrets.
It's what's best for business.
Does he
Also,
have a
if you-
robe to go with that hat?
Of course,
I hope
wizard
so.
hat and robe. You need to have a wizard robe to go with the hat, and you need a hat to go with the robe. I mean,
He's
think
not a
about-
real
God damn it,
wizard.
Tony. Shut up.
Do you think his robe and wizard hat are orange?
Probably.
Yes. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be?
But are they patterned? Like, are they orange with like?
I'm pretty
wizard
sure it's just a
stars
Bronco
and
Snuggie.
moons. And wow.
It's got to have stars and moons. It's not a wizard cap and robe without stars and moons.
What
Come
if
on,
it
man.
instead of moons it had stars and McRibs?
Okay, that got me. I'm good.
Yeah, so if you do have any questions for Mr. Wizard for tomorrow's show, send them to iPlayWinner's Twitter. Just tweet at iPlayWinner with questions that you have for Mr. Wizard, and there's a good chance that your question will be answered. So long as it isn't,
Wins Marvel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, you're such a joker, guy.
Oh man, I told a pretty good meme there, didn't I, guys?
Shit at him. I bet they're pretty salty. They didn't think of that themselves.
Ha ha!
That was not even ours.
It's kind of ours at this point.
Yeah, the way you say it is it will be ours. Yes,
It's our attitude that's ours.
Yeah,
it's gotta
exactly.
be like so salty.
I'm so salty.
Oh man.
Did we decide which of you guys is going to be on the fray tomorrow?
No.
It's
Kelly.
it's up to them.
Oh,
I like that, Kelly.
It's up to them tomorrow, but it'll be either me or Chris is my guess.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna announce it at the last second and say, "From SDR, we have Hanzo Gonzo."
Yep. And then it's going, hey guys, this is Spooky. What's up? It's like, wait, what?
Troll.
Actually,
Be
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
we should have correspondent Nerd Josh to fill in for us.
On the scene, on location, from the McDonald's.
yeah. No, from the
can
Carl's
just
Jr.
imagine
getting a
there's a
really
camera.
weird milkshake.
There's a camera, and it's just Josh with an earpiece. Yes, hello, this is Nerd Josh on location from the McDonald's down the street. I'm here.
Okay.
Actually,
So-
Kelly, would you want to share that milkshake story? Because I really enjoyed it.
Well, okay, wait. But
Probably
before
upset.
before that.
So,
So in order
before the entire show just goes off a cliff.
in order for the fray to run smoothly tomorrow and for more questions to be answered, it's just going to be the two main hosts for the fray. It's going to be Magus and Derry, and yeah, they're gonna. It's just going to be those two and Wizard and some madman behind the ones and
The
twos.
curtain? The one behind
Yeah.
the curtain?
Putting up stuff. But be sure to watch, and the fact that there's only two people on the show will make it easier for you guys to get your questions answered. You can ask a bunch of questions. Once again, direct them to @iPlayWinner. If you want, I mean, you can probably send them to Mr. Wizard, Derry, and Magus on Twitter. Once again, Mr. Wizard is @EvilMrWizard, Derry is @DerryH, and Magus is @Magus1234. Shoot them messages on whatever you want to get answered, and see if your question gets answered live on air. Should be good. Just don't ask when's Marvel. Please don't.
And don't ask about when Hanzo Gonzo either. Really, don't ask Hanzo anything, because he's probably just going to respond with some asinine bullshit.
Oh. Okay, never mind. We have a good filter for the question. So it's cool. Ask whatever you want.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah,
is
and,
Magus the
ask-
filter?
No, I didn't say who it is. But asking on iPlayWinner's Twitter is the best. So @iPlayWinner is where you want to ask all your questions. And be sure to, spam all the questions to him. Also, since you're here, subscribe to iPlayWinner.
Yeah, you really-
$4.99.
If you really think Wins Marvel's the funniest thing and Hanzo is just
No.
like the literary genius like I think he is,
Seriously,
then
I wanted to bring this up last week.
Yeah.
Everyone said they wanted a bird frog emote. If we get enough subscribers, we can possibly get a bird frog emote here on I Play Winner if the
that'd be
IP
sick.
gods allow it.
yeah.
So, subscribe, I Play Winner. Boom. It's only $5.
Remember to
Not
use
that
that
bad.
hashtag bird frog movement.
Yep.
And yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Show some love to I
Bird
Play
frog
Winner.
is
Support
awesome.
FTW.
All right.
You get about 102% of that money.
102% of the money?
Or yep.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and you get some sick ass icons. You get the horse head. You get fight money. You get Lord Hans. I mean, think about it. You get Lord Hans.
Yeah, that's
You
like
get
he's
the
a
blow
cap
up.
cop, you know. You can
Yeah.
show him off.
You get the Hansa Ganza. And you get the Neomax explosion. These things are sick.
It's true. And you get what? Why is there a squirrel?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that is. Right next to the,
I thought that was
raffles.
Hanzo.
Is it?
The squirrels.
Yeah, it's like that's why they're next to each other. That's him with the hat and him without the hat.
Oh,
okay.
I like how accepting you are all of this.
And then there's the raffle monster guy.
Yeah, Raffle Monster's too sick. I heard he made it into some of the official Capcom promos. Not Capcom, Street Fighter 25th last year. 2 years ago.
I hope he did.
Just throwing money at a car. Yeah,
But just imagining some guy just like taking bills out and throwing them at the car. Give it to me! Give it to me!
You're going down, infiltration!
oh man. Yeah, so we have what else? So Guilty Gear Xrd kinda released, kinda not in Japan.
It's a Loki test.
Okay,
One
it's
final test.
yeah, the final beta build of the game, and it's people are putting up impressions online. So
Well, I just wanted to note that some people are saying it's kind of slower than Guilty Gear of old.
yeah, it looks slower just by watching the videos. It
Yeah.
looks slower.
I'm not sure that's something they can tweak before release. I mean, I'm assuming they can. I don't see why they couldn't. But
Our good buddy Professor from Madman's Cafe posted up some of his thoughts along with a YouTube video on his site, Madman's Cafe.
yeah, so check that out. Let me get a link to that so I can put it in the chat. Check out Madman's Cafe. They're cool. Or he's cool.
See, looking at some of the stuff, they implemented instant kills in this version, from what I'm told.
And they're super flashy.
Yep. Okay, okay, yeah, he goes into the different instant kills. I'm just trying to see if he puts up anything. Let's see. Yeah, he says the graphics look much better than they did before. Not so much gameplay stuff because he's not a Guilty Gear guy, but he does know like little things, and he puts up things that most people want to hear for the most part. But yeah, I'm looking through some of these changes. They're pretty neat.
I can't wait. We still don't have a release date, but I mean, I can imagine it's before the 28th, so.
Well, no. Hold on. I'm sorry. ArcSys says this month, right?
Yeah.
February. Okay, they said the same thing for Guilty Gear Plus R coming to the States. Wasn't it supposed to come here in February?
Can we not bring that up? Can we not do that?
We're still waiting on that technically.
That game's
So we're
never
still-
coming.
Yeah. Also, my main issue with this release is you can see it's very, very bare bones. ArcSys has always had a great like HUD screen, like with the life bars and the super and all that stuff for all their games. This just looks bland, like very, very bland. Not that it's bad, it's just it's not very ArcSys-like.
Well, here's the thing, like, a lot of people like to think of the Guilty Gear series pretty much starting with X, because that was like the first arcade fighter. It was pretty popular, and it pretty much got the ball rolling on its, on the whole series. But Missing Link was pretty fucking terrible as far as like from a visual standpoint. And I wouldn't go as far as to say as that they would recreate that simplicity on purpose, but I think they feel like they have that leeway, they have that wiggle room to kind of just throw out a very KOF 12ish kind of thing at us and then build upon it.
The difference, though, is that this game actually looks really solid still.
I didn't want to compare it to KOF 12 either, but that's pretty much the only thing that has that precedent set right now.
Jesus,
Jingle.
12.
Jingle, jangle. Somebody answer that.
But
Go on, we'll wait. Hope it's important.
What are you talking about?
I don't
Keep
know. I
going.
think somebody answering their phone. Anyway, continue.
I honestly haven't seen too much of the footage. I saw a little bit, but I did notice that and I don't remember which stage it was. One of the stages, the background art looked pretty uninspired and kind of muddy.
That's probably the Bedman stage. It's the one that's like really red and brownish.
Yeah, I was kind of like, huh.
There's not really much going on. There's not that great use of negative space. It's just kind of there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if and what they do before the game's officially released. Finger quotes. I still think it'll be a good game. I'm interested to see how long it takes to get there.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say that I've never really gotten excited for a fighting game until I've seen, like, people actually playing matches against each other. And then I'm just like, oh, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, I think that's always an important thing, because when you watch people who don't know what they're doing play a game, it can always make it look worse than it is.
Yes.
So.
Patience is a key. Man, so, are we actually going to hear this milkshake story or what?
I want to
We're
hear
gonna
it.
close the show with the milkshake story? All right.
Yes.
God. So,
Gather round.
So Josh got me a milkshake at some point because he was like fiending for milkshakes, and I was like, I picked me up one too, and I was like, I owe you a milkshake now. And so like a week later, I went over and I was like, hey, Josh, want to get a milkshake? And he's sitting there drinking a milkshake. And he was like, I already got a milkshake, but how about a burger? And I was like, no, I'm going home. So then I don't remember what happened. Like I wound up I was sick and I couldn't go like with him to a place that served milkshakes to get him one there. And so finally, when the promised day of milkshakes came, I asked him what type of milkshake he wanted, and he was like, I want an orange cream milkshake, but with the Oreo pieces in it. And I was like, okay. So I went to like the Carl's Jr. nearby, and I was like, hey, can I order a milkshake? And they were like, yeah. I was like, could I get the orange cream, but can you put the Oreo pieces in it? And this lady was so unhappy about this. Like, she just kept sighing at me, like really suggestively, sort of like, could you please not? Because she had to like go mix it and stuff like that. And so she's just like, well, I guess if that's what you want. And I was like, yeah, it is what I want. She was like, okay, well, let me go check something. She leaves for like 30 seconds, comes back, and she's like, so that's really what you want? And like, it was clear that she was just gonna keep like pushing this and keep being like, until I like relented and just let her do one of the simple like just pour it in and go shakes. And so I was just like, I'm pregnant, I really need this shake. She was like, oh, okay. And then just like perked right up and was giving me the like, hey, like, I know that feeling type of thing. And I was like, oh my God, please. And I just took the milkshake and left. I'm still really mad. I just went and handed it to Josh. He was like, thanks, man. I was like, I had to tell a lady I was pregnant for this. Like, I hope you're really happy.
Oh, the ending of that story is great. I love it.
I've just like never seen someone more like unhappy about having to make a milkshake. She was.
You've never seen an unhappy worker at Carl's Jr.
My Carl's Jr. are actually pretty nice most of the time. I've never really seen them get silly.
This one just apparently is really surly about making mixed milkshakes.
I guess.
Big of a deal?
Oh, girl, you pregnant? Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, let me change my opinion about everything in the world.
You should have said so in the first place.
Just walk up. I'm like, I'm pregnant. Hook me up.
Wait, I wonder if you can get away with that, where you just start asking for like the dumbest shit possible. It's like, look, I'm gonna need a big hamburger with another chicken sandwich inside of it, but I want the Santa Fe sauce on the big hamburger and not on the chicken sandwich. And I want all of this inside of milkshake.
That guy at Jack in the Box did get pepper jack in his tacos. That was crazy.
Okay, all right. I've told this story before, I think.
Was he pregnant?
He might have been.
Yeah.
About how when I first got on Twitter, one of the first things I shared with people was the hacks that you could do at Carl's Jr., where you can get the big hamburger, which is just $1 burger. It's basically a superstar or a famous star without all the other vegetables and crap. It just has like sauce and fucking onions and pickles and shit. Very basic. It's $1. But you can definitely order a side of onion rings and then just ask them to put shit tons of barbecue sauce on the burger and just make your own fucking, Western bacons by yourself. That shared this with the world immediately. Like within minutes, Carl's Jr. follows me on Twitter, and then within a week or two, the cost of big hamburgers goes up 30 cents.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I've got one better. So, this is a McDonald's story, and this is back during my post-college years, which are kind of a blur for me, but I still remember this day. They were running a promotion where you bought a Big Mac, and you got a free Big Mac. It wasn't quite 2 for $2. It was like you got to buy a Big Mac meal, and then you get a Big Mac on the side for some shit, for the real fat asses. And so one night, we're just like, a bunch of us are just hanging around, tapping a keg, and we're like, hey, we're all hungry. Let's go get some Big Macs. And I'm like, oh, dude, they got that special going on. We can just load up on the Big Macs for free pretty much, So we go into the drive-thru line, and we tell them, like, hey, let's get a couple Big Macs and a meal or whatever, right? And then one of my friends tries to order the same thing, and they're like, oh, only one per car or some shit like that. And so we're like, oh, shit. Well, what are we going to do now? We only got like 2 Big Macs and some fries. Let's go back around and do it again. So we go back around, and the driver's just like, hey, man, they're going to recognize us if we just do it again, like the same way. And I'm like, let me handle this. And so I hit him with the fucking the Dangerfield voice, like, hey, let me get a couple Big Macs with this large fries, yeah? Give me some respect.
What? That's a terrible Dangerfield voice.
Hey, it worked, because I pull her out to the front, and the lady looks at me like, wait a minute, you're not Rodney Dangerfield? Take your burgers and go. And we only have 4 burgers at this point. So I'm like, oh, man, we're not going to get back into that house with like only 4 burgers. We're going to have to go back for 6. And so I go back in there, and I hit him with the Macho Man, like, hey, brother, I really need one of them the double cheeseburgers, the Big Macs, yeah, and a cup of coffee, man, And then we pull around again, and she's just like, oh, my God, how come you keep fooling me? You're not even sounding like the person you're supposed to be, but I keep thinking that you are, because whatever. Next day,
I think she just hated you. I don't think.
Oh no, she hated us because she was just like, why are you coming back? Leave me alone. Like, she literally was like, if you come back again, we're gonna call the police, right? So we dip out, and I'm like, yo, man. Officer, he wanted 6 Big Macs. That's not gonna happen. So like a couple of days later, after that, I look up, I just happened to check out, going to McDonald's, and I see the promotion is gone. And I remember the promotion had just started like the night before that, and never again have they ever done it. They've never done 2 Big Macs.
Thanks for ruining it for everybody, Chris.
You condemn this all, Chris.
I only have one story that's probably funny with a fast food restaurant. It's pretty quick. So, my car, it runs, but the windows on the driver's side do not roll down. Like, it's messed up or something like that. So one time I'm hanging out with my friends, and we decided to go to Burger King in the middle of the night, and like nobody's around and stuff. I'm like, all right, well, screw it. I'm going to roll down the passenger side window and drive through backwards. So I'm pulling through backwards, and the lady just gives me the like angriest look. She's like, "What are you doing, fooling around?" I'm like, "Ma'am, My window doesn't roll down. This is literally like the best thing I could do. And of course my friends are laughing because they think it's hilarious. Face the entire time. And I'm like, I just want to get my meal. My window doesn't roll down. I can prove it to you right now. And, she gets kind of mad or whatever. But, at the end of the moral of the story is we eventually got what we wanted. And we left. And they were mad. But they're like, we have a camera that records it. I'm like, what? For going through backwards? Is that illegal? Like...
Of course, Anthony couldn't open his door to get the food order.
I do that, but I'm just like, I'm gonna try going backwards. I mean, I'm confident in my driving skills. I can back up the straight line.
God, I know about the cameras, and I only know about the cameras because, like, a couple months ago, right before Halloween, we were doing like a pumpkin carving party. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get in like the real like Halloween party spirit. And I put on like this party hat and these glasses where the rims of the glasses were shaped like skulls. And I was gonna like take them off before I got up to the window, but I like rolled up to this like Starbucks drive-through thing, and I ordered, and the guy's like, so is it your birthday today? Like, no. He was like, you okay. And I just like quietly took them off before I got to the window. I was like, oh god.
Way to make me feel self-conscious. Oh,
oh man.
And with that, I think we're done here today.
No.
we gotta give out the last code.
Give out this last code.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Alright, boom. Alright. Okay, perfect. I can DM this person. The Hound 2. You are the winner of the third and final Steam code for Metal Slug 3. I will send you the private messages.
Lucky man. I mean, he's a big supporter of all the things we do here on I Play Winner. He watches the show that sucks. Tuesday nights. Go watch it tomorrow. Honestly, like I say all the time, just leave this tab open. You're gonna be wanting to watch them Evo games. You're gonna be watching all the content that's on here. Hopefully I'll figure out something and start doing my streaming because I haven't, but that's because I have all these ideas in my head, and I need to start rather than overthink things like I normally do.
God damn it, and the Hound sent us a tweet too. God damn it. I'm gonna just look at Sanchez, you need to look at this tweet. I'm sorry.
I already retweeted it.
Okay.
As soon as I saw Bullet in front of some French fries and some tacos, I was like, yes, my life's work.
Alright, is that what we got?
Yeah, congratulations to all the winners. And be sure, once again, to check out the fray tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, featuring Derry H and Magus1234. They'll be interviewing Mr. Wizard while they announce the Evo games. I'm not sure if the show that sucks will be on afterwards, on its regular time, 10 p.m. Pacific, Tuesdays. But I'm sure Harrison and Hanzo Gonzo will announce something. And be sure to follow all those nerds on Twitter.
And we will be restreaming last year's Evo before the fray to lead into the show tomorrow. So if you didn't, for whatever reason, catch the Evo stream last year, or you were there and you just kind of want to watch the commentary, check that out. That'll be happening tomorrow before the fray, so I assume most of the day. So, there you go.
Of course, they gotta check the commentary, man.
Yeah. Yes, they certainly do, don't they, Chris?
Yes.
See if you can spot the one thing wrong with the entire day's worth of commentary.
Hint, it was Chris and
no,
something
it wasn't.
he did.
Shh, it never happened. That was perfect the whole
But
time.
anyway, we're going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for listening to our bullshit for 2 years. We enjoy doing this or we wouldn't be here. So from everybody here at Super Desperation Radio, good night and good luck.